Today we're going to talk about comparing numbers. What does it mean to compare? When we compare something, we're looking at two things and deciding how they relate. So if we're comparing an apple and an orange, we would be looking at the apple and saying stuff like it has a skin and an orange has a peel. They both have a kind of an outside layer. You can eat the apple skin, but you shouldn't eat the orange skin or peel. You could also talk about the color of the two objects. So when we talk and compare, and we're talking about numbers, we're looking at the different things that we can talk about those numbers. So like if we look at this number and this number, what can we do to compare those two numbers? What would be a comparison of those two numbers? Well, we could say that they were alike because they both had the digit 3 in them. And we could say that they're different because they have a different value. This number right here has a value of 3. It's worth 3. While this number right here has a value of 36 because it has 3 sets of 10, which means it's 30, and then it has 6 ones, which makes it 36. So the values of these two numbers are different. When we're looking at this, we can compare numbers by determining the value of them. So I am going to put two numbers up. I'm going to put 421 and I'm going to put 347. Okay? Now we're going to compare these two numbers. Well, the first thing that we could do is we could look at them and we could look at the values of the two numbers. So for comparison, we're going to start with the largest value. So the place that has the largest value is the one in the hundreds place, because that is our biggest part of the number. That's the digit with the biggest value. So I've put two place value charts down below. And so we're going to look at the hundreds place first in both of these numbers. And the number 421, it has a value in the hundreds place of 4. So that is equal to 400. If you want to draw it out in place value blocks, you would draw 4 blocks. And then on this side, I have the number 347. And the digit in my hundreds place on this number is a 3. So its value is worth 300 because it has 3 hundredths in it. So if we look at these two pictures down below, if we look at the picture for the 400 value, and we look at the picture for the 300 value, which one's more? Which one's bigger? Right, the 400 is bigger. So we would use our symbols greater than and less than in order to make a number sentence for this comparison. So we would put greater than. So 421 is greater than 347. So we're going to look at another one. Let's look at the number 632 and look at the number 664. Okay? So now we're going to compare these two numbers. So something that Miss Hayward likes to do a lot is she likes to draw a place value chart. It helps me arrange the numbers and make sense of them. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do, like I did with the last one, is I'm going to look at my first place, my hundreds place. And now I have a 6 in my first number, so it's worth 600. And I have a 6 in my second place, so it's worth 602. So do I put an equal sign here? Do I do that? I don't think that's what we do because the rest of the numbers aren't exactly the same, are they? So I'm going to erase that. And I'm going to have to look further at this number. I'm going to have to look at my tens place. I'm going to have to look at my tens place. Now in this first number, 632, I have a 3 in the tens place. So we know that that 3 is really a value of 30 because it's 3 tens. And in this number, I have a 6 in the tens place for the second number, don't I? So that is a value of 6. So that's really worth 60. 6 tens is 60. So which is more, 3 tens or 6 tens? I drew them in place value blocks just to make sure, model form, just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. 6 tens, you're right. 6 tens, 60 is more than 30. So I don't even need to go to my ones place over here to check just to make sure because 30 is less than 60. So now I need to draw my place value, my comparison as less than. So a quick trick to remember that is to remember that the largest side of your symbol goes towards the biggest number. So whichever number is bigger, the larger side of the symbol goes towards that number. Kind of like it's chomping it up, like an alligator's mouth, if you could. Okay? Like that alligator is chomping up the larger number. It wants to eat the biggest number. All right, we're going to look at one more real quick. We're going to look at the number 426, and we're going to look at the number 421. Now, I'm going to draw my place value chart again. And I'm going to look at this number, and in my hundreds place, we start with the hundreds place, the biggest part of our number. In the digit place that is the largest, which would be our hundreds. They're both 4s. So then we come over here to our tens. They're both the digit 2. So now I have to go look at the ones place. So when I look at the ones place, I have a 6 and I have a 1. So I have, each of the numbers have a 4 in their hundreds place. Each of the numbers have a 2 in their tens place. Now, this first number, 426, has a 6 in its ones place. 421 has a 1 in its ones place. Which is bigger, 6 or 1? Which one's bigger? The 6 is. So we're going to take our symbol and we're going to put it that 426 is greater than 421. And this is how we work to compare numbers.